Is this a second scumbag
seller
of
the
week?
week.
Two?
And boy howdy. Who is this scumbag seller of the week? It's none other than our favorite greasy shit-stained hellspawn, Mike Kennedy. What?
That was a pretty over-the-top Ed Holiday.
No, don't really care. At this point, he's a fuck.
All right, you want us to explain what happened here then?
Okay, so, good guy, Willie. I remember Willie, Mike Kennedy, who just exudes vomit from every pore, was responsible for the Retro VGS and Coleco Chameleon debacles.
You don't want to use the debacle too much, but it was a total debacle.
No, it was a train wreck. And he had some friends who, despite admitting that what was going on seemed a little fishy, wanted to stand by their buddy because they remember the good days with Mike Kennedy. And, they wanted to believe that their friend wasn't behind perpetrating some of this fucking stupidest, most shady attempts at, fundraising money for a video game console ever. So one of the guys' name is Willie, and he stood by him. And which podcast is he? He's buddies with the guys from there was.
Well, he did a podcast.
He did the podcast with.
It was this like ColecoVision podcast.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sure.
I'm not sure. I think Gamester was on the podcast as well at one point. I'm not sure if the podcast was mainly to go over Retro VGS stuff or also ColecoVision stuff or a combination. I have no idea. But they did the podcast together. So I'm not sure if that's the reason why, but Willie, to his credit or not, sticking by Mike, was pretty neutral on the whole Retro VGS Coleco Chameleon thing, even when it turned sour, even when it started to look like this might not be something that you'd want to get into. Willie didn't want to throw his friend under the bus directly.
Sure.
So what happened here was that, and Willie put out a video, and the one of the only reasons I'm bringing this up is because Willie called out the podcast.
Yeah.
And said, and Willie, you don't have to feel bad about anything, Willie.
No, you don't.
You're trying to be a good person and stick up for your friend.
Can I also say, Willie, you apologized for ranting like 3 times, and that was the kindest rant I've ever seen.
So this is what Willie did. So Willie basically gave or loaned Mike Kennedy a couple of repaired Coleco tabletop arcade games. Looked like there was a Miss Pac-Man, a Galaxian. Was there another one here?
Frogger.
A Frogger. So these were board repairs that Willie had to do. He had to solder jumpers and basically patch these boards together to make them work.
Yeah,
somehow they were damaged.
He stated that these were very damaged, and he wanted to send them to Mike so that people could play them and check them out when Mike was at a conference or something like that, I believe.
Just to have around to use.
Because he was going to review them. He was going to review them.
Or just to have them to bring to shows or whatever for display. You wouldn't want this as like your personal collection to use hours and hours because the soldering could go at any moment.
Willie said they could have broken at any time.
It was like a patch job, basically. A good patch job, but a patch job.
So the whole story was that Willie did this out of the kindness of his own heart, puts fixes these boards, and sends these off to his buddy Mike, and basically says, "Look, man, just don't sell them. Okay, please don't sell them. They're not in any position. They're not in any condition to be sold, and I would like them returned when you're done with them. If you decide you're done with them, so instead of selling them, please don't." So, in between prodding people in the vats of oil with a pitchfork dressed as Satan, Mike Kennedy actually decided to sell these off. But not only did he sell them off, he sold them as restored like new.
Did he really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And blatantly fucked over his friend and did exactly what his friend, who was just trying to help him out, asked him not to. And this was after a lot of silence, I believe was what Willie said. And then he still helped his friend out. And then he fucked his friend over. And when Willie finally got a hold of him about selling these little Coleco mini arcade cabs, Mike Kennedy's gross, disgusting, feces-filled response was, I'm going to send you all the money that I made off of these. And Willie, apparently a great guy, I'd buy him a sandwich. I'd buy Willie a sandwich in a heartbeat. Was like, no, dude, I don't want your fucking dirty money. I want you to refund these people, get the machines back, and send them back to me.
Because he wasn't being honest about.
Yeah,
about
because he wasn't being honest. And he's like, I want you to refund the money. I want them back so that I can at least take them to trade shows and show people these fun little curiosities from the past that are getting more and more expensive. And Mike didn't do it. And there's been nothing but radio silence since.
What is Mike's eBay name? Do we have that here?
I don't think I do. But he has got. Willie did get a hold of people on Atari Age, and I did not get a chance to read this Atari Age thread yet, which is a shame because I love those guys. We love them. We'd buy them all sandwiches. He did contact them because they have developed a reputation as a group of super sleuths who run around at night in capes and cowls, and they get to the bottom of this bullshit, and they're currently trying to find the buyers so that they can be like, hey, this guy lied to you, request a refund, get your refund, send your product back.
I found it. Let's be totally honest about what the description is. Let's be accurate here. The one I saw was listed as used.
Yes. They were listed as used.
Okay, let's see what they went for here. All right. So besides selling a bunch of TurboGrafx-16 stuff, let's see. You have a Ms. Pac-Man electronic tabletop game. You have a Donkey Kong electronic tabletop game, and you have a Galaxian.
And the label tearing is exactly the same.
They're the exact ones.
Yeah.
There's no denying they're the exact ones. The account is SoCal Video Games.
Mm-hmm.
There's a nice professional pictures of it, and then the condition says used, but nothing about the repair job. Very nice condition from my personal collection. What is with the people saying personal collection? And it wasn't your personal collection. Someone gave it to you.
And that was Willie's main problem that he lists right up here, is that these repaired, cobbled together boards were being sold as used but in nice condition.
The Donkey Kong one. Nice condition from my personal collection. No battery cover. Nothing about the repairs.
Nope.
Or the board that Willie repaired. The third one, Galaxian. Very nice condition from my personal collection.
Covered in brimstone.
And these didn't go cheap. Like, these were like $70 for a Galaxian, $55 for the ripped label one for a Donkey Kong.
These things are expensive.
So the point is that these are expensive to begin with. So if they are damaged and repaired, it has to be noted because that'll drop the price down
hugely. If someone who knew what they were getting into got one of these and decided, hey, I do want to investigate a little bit further, and opened it up and saw a bunch of wires jumped all over the place,
yes,
this thing would have been worth $10 to $15.
So the bad news is that these three auctions ended in the middle of May. I'm guessing Willie found out about it only somewhat recently since this video came out a few days ago. So these people already have it in their possession. It might be too late to get their money back, or let's hope they at least... Oh, there's still time, though, for them to do a PayPal complaint, though.
Mm-hmm.
Through eBay, through an eBay complaint. To say, hey, they can open it up, unscrew it at the bottom, say, hey, this thing has a bunch of wires and soldered together. This is not the condition.
It's a hack job. It wasn't disclosed as such.
It wasn't disclosed that these were heavily modified, repaired. So, Mike, it was funny. Someone in the Atari Age forum said he wanted to come on the forum just to say, okay, it's time we should back off Mike, and then this happened. I don't see why you'd back off of someone where this is their shitty behavior.
No,
this is who they are. There is no backing off. They're not going to change.
Nope. No, not at all.
It's not going to happen.
No, they are. You ever worked in a restaurant? Did you ever do dishes or anything like that?
No.
Anyone out there who ever worked in a restaurant is going to know what a grease trap is. He's the grease trap of humanity.
Wow, he's a devil spawning grease trap.
He's a lot of things. He's a diaper full of loose stool. My gloves are off. I just don't care.
Oh, when I said that, I got in trouble. The internet came after me when I said gloves are coming off.
Well, come at me. Defend this one.
You might get some mean tweets at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, defend this guy, guys. All right.